Hey guys, my name is Bryce, and today I'm going to be doing a tips and tricks video on the NERF Doomlands blaster, so you can see right here. So the reason why I'm wearing gloves right now will make more sense in a second. I definitely don't take myself nearly that seriously. To start, I had an interesting experience acquiring this from the packaging. I was under the impression that I would be able to fire sort of 4 shots at once. And I was thinking, oh great, I don't actually have like a sort of shotgun type NERF blaster yet, so this would be great. It's vertical, but I can just have it go sideways and you have 4 things going at once. Much easier to aim and stuff. And it even says like it's got like fires 4 darts at one time. But what I found though is that when you actually go to fire it using the cool hammer action thing, which by the way, having this clear element is really cool for me just to see the mechanisms. You can see it pull the plunger back. But when you go to fire though, it only does 1 at a time. The cool thing is though, at least it has the ability to sort of go one shot after another. And the way that they're angled means that, you know, by a slight adjustment of trajectory, they all seem to fire generally in the same actual focal point. Not only that, but let's say you went and reloaded and grabbed whatever NERF darts that you have on the ground. If you happen to fire the first dart, and you don't have one in the next barrel, the cool thing is that there's like an air regulator that just lets you fire right afterwards. You can, you know, reposition them. It's pretty smart. So even though I was surprised that it wasn't going to be like a 4-shot at the same time kind of blaster, I was very happy with being able to actually see this really cool mechanism, which is a huge pro, and the fact that it's able to have this sort of air regulation with whatever piece is plugged with a NERF dart, you just get to blast indiscriminately, so it's really good with sort of panicky close quarter stuff. But then I found some other like slight cons though, is just the sort of friction with your like sort of your middle finger as you're going between like extending like a full adult hand to pull back on this and pull. There's like a lot of rubbing against here. You could say that's kind of actually where the cons end, because for things that are sort of less commonly known after I started playing around with this thing, I feel really outweigh any of the negative factors. So for one though, is that you can slam fire this, and basically what that means is that if you pull the trigger down, you're able to pull this back, and without having to lock it, because you already have this pulled down, you can just fire that way. Considering this is perfectly suited as a big pistol just for doing any kind of close quarter stuff, it's a really great fit that way. And certainly you can see real life examples of revolvers where it's what's called fanning the hammer. So essentially, instead of having your thumb be the indicator of how fast you can fire, which is still great considering it's a one-handed mechanism, even though it's got a fair bit of pull back on this, which can get tiring, I guess. What you can do is you can just hold this down, or you can just get like a rubber band and essentially affix this in place. This is where the gloves come in. So basically a cool perk of the slam fire is you're actually able to kind of rapid fire this way. As long as you don't mind your hands constantly pawing back at this, you can get a really high rate of fire, and it's, again, super easy to reload. Obviously it's pretty low capacity, but if you're just counting with 1 dart to take out your opponent, you're in pretty good hands with this. Now another tricky thing about the Persuader is that it does have some technicalities which allow you to do 4 darts at once. Whether or not mine may have had some issue in transit, I'm not sure of, but in any case, so it seems to consecutively fire one after the other. However, I found this kind of interesting little trick to it. All you have to do is essentially, if you look closely, you essentially gently pull the darts out. And again, this will take practice and a bit of prep, so don't expect to get this right off the bat. You pull these out slightly so they're all generally in the same line. You can see you can fire quite a few at once. And again, whatever you don't have quite in there, it's not a problem. You just fire in the next shot. But being able to have at least more than 1 shot at once, just by adding a few millimeters to it as an extension, leaves actually a lot of options for this. So in summary, hopefully I can persuade you into the Persuader. Sorry, terrible joke, but it's bound to happen in this video. Is essentially that the Persuader is actually gifted with a lot more functions than most people give it credit for. For those of you seeing a Persuader on the shelves, I would say if you're definitely a pistol person, give it a try. It's certainly a lot of fun, and it's easy to look past a few of the minor issues and just sort of enjoy it as a whole for the other aspects that it has. So with that in mind, I would say the Persuader is definitely a really great sidearm, if not a primary in my case. But I mean, of course that comes down to personal preference, but having all these kind of sneaky options to add just to what is normally just presented on the shelf, I think adds a lot of value to it, and it's a lot of fun even just to try and teach yourself that. And that's a wrap for me, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.